Meeting to order.
Turn your mics. Councilman Simaluka?
Here.
Councilman Garrick?
Here.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Here.
Council President Accomando.
Here. Please rise for the salute of the flag. Pledge allegiance. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may inhabit a pass or legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Motion to open the meeting to the public.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public. This is the last meeting before the election, and I will give 5 minutes time limit to the meeting tonight because I know people will get stuff off their chest and get things said. If we could just be professional about it and respectful, that would be fantastic. Meeting is now open to the public.
Good evening, Andrew Judgeets, Saddlebrook Council candidate on November 5th. I urge everyone to vote column 1 all the way down for a change, not only at the town but also the county level. And just to recap what we've been coming up here for many months, including over a year, what the total cost of the municipal complex was, why that was never put through on a referendum for homeowners and taxpayers and residents to decide, was something I think that should have been done and disclosed and voted on. Hiring of a business administrator for Saddlebrook, when that position was for someone at a much lower salary than the $300,000 business administrator that we just hired in town this year at a ridiculous cost of $300,000 a year. Also, if reelected, one councilman, the potential cost for his health care benefits to cover him and his family over the course of 25 or 30 years could be potentially $1 million, 1.1 or 1.2 million that's not budgeted for, that we would have to pay. Additionally, with the passing of 9 marijuana licenses in town, being the only town in city in Saddlebrook where we have 3 different types for retail, manufacturing, and cultivation, and the back and forth of not really understanding the hours of operations, the rules, the regulations, the quick transfer of ownership of the marijuana license, where if somebody opens the business in 30, 60, 90 days, that they could immediately transfer that license and we don't have a say about it in town, is a big cause for concern. And the location, having them all on the same district or in the same highway, and the amount of potential issues which could cause the hiring of many more police officers in town with not knowing the rules, regulations, or hours of operation for these facilities. And last but not least, the special council work session we had in September regarding the townwide rat infestation, which is in 7 out of 11 districts. And the only solutions provided was for you, the homeowner and resident, to spend money on exterminators, which is going to cost hundreds of dollars, as well as now imposing a new ordinance for the homeowner to spend hundreds of dollars on new garbage cans. So really the only long-term solution for a problem that has been known for a very long time in this town is for the homeowner to spend hundreds, if not thousands, on exterminators and garbage cans. I hope and urge everybody to vote column 1 all the way on November 5th. Thank you.
Through the chair, I have a question. Mr. Ditzik,
Yes.
this mic's not working. Can you go back up here?
I'm not taking questions.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh, I have a comment.
name is Judgeets. That's the
If you're not taking questions, have a seat. Thank you.
Well, I'm just gonna say that, I don't know, I guess, I can't pronounce his name, but Andrew D. I don't know where you get your information from about a town-wide rat infestation, and you know all the districts they're in. I don't know how the heck you know that, you're not an expert, okay, and you're wrong. You have no idea. We've been tracking it, we know what's going on. The other stuff, I have no problem with, that's your opinion. But don't say there's something that doesn't exist. You don't know that. You absolutely do not know that. You're not an expert, and you have no knowledge or information to back up what you're saying.
So you don't
I
want-
thought you didn't want to answer the question.
When you respond to certain citizens on certain questions over the last 2 or 3 years. Can I respond to that?
No, you had your time. Thank you. Anybody else?
Sylvia Zottarelli, 236 Lanza Ave. The broken record is back. Walmart. I know there's a meeting Monday night. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I drove back behind there today before I came tonight. You talk about problems with rats on the other side of town. The garbage back there is disgusting. The dumpsters, they're not covered. They're all over the place. There's all kinds of storage units. It's a disaster, and there's still racing going on at night. Now, they want to add additional stuff to Walmart. They can't control what's there now, and us residents that live there are suffering the consequences of it. Something's got to be done. I don't know what. I know if you put speed bumps back there, put the things that come up when your tires go, I don't know, but something has got to be done. I come back, I started before the summer because I knew it was going to be an issue. And here we are going into November and it's still an issue. And again, Walmart wants to add more back there.
That, they postponed it again, so.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. I was here over a year ago in March, and basically, as the woman here before has stated, the pigsty Walmart back there, it's not just a Walmart problem. I go back there periodically. My property is very well maintained, and it's adjacent to the back of Walmart where the easement is. And I actually took my wife today on a field trip again, and I am just shocked by what she said. There are open dumpsters, there are open grease pits. It is disgusting. And part of the problem is, if you want to maintain property in Saddlebrook, whether you're a homeowner or a business or an institutional organization, it should be the same for everyone. The problem with Walmart is it's not all Walmart. Now, in 1988, we had a rat infestation in this town back there before Walmart was there, and Mr. Ladico was mayor then, and he could very well attest that my wife actually bought the news media down here to put it on national TV. And the problem is, it was with Abe Oster, who owns that property. Cutting the grass is not just maintaining your property. That place is overgrown with brush. There is no water in that easement, and all it is a breeding ground for rodents. The other problem back there, which is Walmart, is noise pollution. I went through this at the zoning board meeting, the planning board meeting a year ago, and they were knocked down. Part of the problem is the zoning laws clearly state that trucks should not be idling within 150 feet of people's property. They violate this every single day. I cannot tell you how many times I have to call the police department to go there and tell them to shut the engines off. I hear trucks come in at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? It's wrong. They know what the noise pollution is, and nobody does anything about it. Your own statutes say that you need a property management guy and a noise control individual. You have neither of which. I call the police up, oh, we'll go check it out. That's the end of it. If you don't put Walmart to task and summons them when they break the laws, They will just keep doing it. They have no regard for the people that live back there. And I'm going to tell you a couple other things. I am amazed that when I walk outside this building, and if I was to look at the commercial property next door here, it is pristine compared to Walmart. Why is that? Because you people work here, and you have to look at it? Well, we have to look at that crap hole all the time. And enough is enough. And if you people don't get a hold of the situation, you've had over a year. I got lip service here a year ago. Nothing is done. I asked for signs to be posted about trucks idling, that they can't be idling back there. They continuously do it. If they want to park a refrigeration truck there overnight till 6 o'clock in the morning when the loading dock opens up, let them park on Route 46 by McDonald's, where it's away from people's houses. This is ridiculous. You know, and I hate to say it, I'm not trying to single anybody out, but I mean, you know, I have a lot of respect for Mayor White, but I read his platform, you know, and one of the campaign things was he was going to put people to task to maintain properties, commercial properties. And I don't see that happening. You guys are getting like a D- on my report card for the way that place is. There's no excuse for it. I appreciate you giving me the time to express myself, but I not only speak for me, believe me, plenty of my neighbors are fed up. I had a neighbor that had a rat in his yard a couple weeks ago, and I don't want to see another rat infestation. That's the last thing we need. Thank you.
Sir, just one thing, I didn't get your name, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Your name, I didn't get your name.
Alan Mangini.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, Brook, council candidate on November 5th, column 1. And first and foremost, I would like to bring a few subjects. It's been said for so many months that we are not pointing to the truth. I want to challenge any one of you with documents tonight that any of the things that we've been saying is not true. We've been saying that this building cost us most likely $32 million. In excess, maybe, of $32 million. Until I don't see the paperwork, there's nothing that I can do. And if you ask me where I'm getting my facts, I asked an Oprah 8 months ago, and still I don't get it because they haven't compiled the total numbers yet. So I have a right to say $32 million unless I'm proven wrong. The voters haven't even been asked whether it's good or not for the town. You just did it. At least you should release the numbers. Then, we also being accused of exaggerating numbers when it comes to a business administrator. We hire a $300,000 a year business administrator, the highest pay in the state of New Jersey. And then we have volunteers right here as our fire department. They do this job from their heart, and we don't give them what they're asking for? What it costs to just give them some extra money? $20,000, $30,000, when actually, and you, Council President, with all respect, when you speak, I don't laugh. And I'm speaking with the truth, and I'm going to prove it to you. If any of you challenge me, I got all the documents right here, and I can pass it on to you, the $300,000 a year. That's an embarrassment for a town like ours, so small and with 13,000 people, when actually Paramos, which is 10 times higher in business, and people actually just pay $130,000. We are not Alpine or Franklin Lakes. Last time I checked, paperwork here, someone wants to challenge me. It's just $300,000 we pay. Another point, none of you has questioned me if I'm wrong. If elected, Councilman Simaluka Once again, it will cost the taxpayers and the kids of your kids $1 million in medical benefits, or close to $1 million in medical benefits, and I can prove it because every single year the benefits go up and up and up, and especially in a town like ours that you don't have to pay nothing when you have medical benefits. That is not right. The hardworking people in Southbrook have to make a lot of efforts to pay the taxes, and every year the taxes go up. It have to come down. So then again, if anyone want to tell me something, I can tell you how to do the numbers, and it's not 5 cents per person. It's close to $1 million, because anytime councilman can get remarried and can have other kids, and also the town will have to cover. Just multiply 20,000. It's very simple to do it, and it's 4,300 homes. How much is it? But anyway, $40,000 just 20 years. But then again, the parks. Look at the county parks. It's a shame. All of you know and have been complaining here that the county doesn't do nothing to you, that the county do not respond to you, that the state do not listen to you. But when it's time for election like tonight, I just saw one of the candidates right here. It's time for you guys to say vote for that person. But when it's time to help Southbrook, nobody from the county, nobody has come. The mayor and council has expressed it right here, that nobody listen or pick up the phones for you. Then why are you pushing for people that don't even pick up the phone call to you? And you tell the residents to go and complain to the county? Why do we elect you? You have to show me that you're the leader. So, don't blame other people. We elect you. We don't elect the county to go over there. We elect you. Then, also, when we talk about not just the water rates, there is an ordinance I'm going to speak up later, but the water rates shouldn't go up. We got a surplus of $600,000. We should pay garbage can out of that, $600,000. We keep on increasing the budget. Once and if elected on November 5th with the support of all the residents in Southbrook, as a financial controller, I promise you on my first year, one of my first things that I will do, it will not be water rate increases or no property increases. And I can put you, and I will teach them how to do it, because I know what I'm doing when it comes to finances. And enough is enough. If we're gonna have to tighten our belt, they will have to do the same. Thank you very much for your time.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Sure.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, council president. I stand before you as your Bergen County Sheriff, and with that being said, Anthony Curidan, I'm here for a public service announcement first and foremost. But this is my first time coming in this facility, and it's great to see the directions Saddlebrook is going, forgive me. And it's quite obvious. When I pulled up, I was like, where am I? But it was great to see. I see we are representing domestic violence with the colors out front. Looks great. But I just wanted to let everybody know, I've been going town to town, and there's been something going on in the sheriff's office, or relating to the sheriff's office, about scams. And the scams seem to be focused at seniors, unfortunately. But if you haven't, we've been getting, residents have been getting calls where people have been representing themselves as the sheriff's office or sheriff's officers. To date, we had about $70,000 that were taken from residents. Phone calls, they go out on a regular. You'll hear Sheriff's Officer Duffy, and he's been claiming himself, of course, part of the sheriff's office, and you to meet at a certain location or come to the court for a warrant or jury duty or something to that effect. And they ask you to bring X amount of dollars. We don't ask for money when it's time to arrest somebody. We don't ask for, we don't tell you if there's a warrant. We tell you to come down and see us. And it's the message we want to get out to it. Because a lot of the seniors, like I said, who've unfortunately been victimized by this, even to the point folks have asked for Bitcoins. We had an incident where in Teaneck, they met at the local supermarket, and the person gave $1,750 to round it off in this Bitcoin exchange, which I'm not overly familiar with, but it's a continued practice. We just got a phone call earlier this week Same thing, someone professing himself to be from the Bergen County Sheriff's Office. Just bear in mind, in the state of New Jersey, we don't have deputy sheriffs. And this person that's calling, Dale Reinhardt, I think he said his name is, same consistent person. He always presents himself as deputy sheriff. In the state of New Jersey, we don't have any recognition as deputy sheriffs. So in going out through the county, various senior centers, it's been welcome information. And of course, we want to make sure everybody hear about this because no one should be victimized for that type of money, especially when you have individuals that say, my grandson, my nephew, and we know we are, as people, when it comes to our families, we embraced it. So that's the challenge that we're experiencing right now. Again, if you go to our website, www.bcsd.us, you'll get a sample call or actual call of the individual who's been calling these various residents and, of course, trying to solicit money. But, in another note, I read in the paper recently you've had a new chief of police. And it's great to see that, forward progression. Like I said, if you look at the building, it shows that next step you're doing. And I offer myself to the new chief as far as any directions he's going in law enforcement. I applaud the members of the Saddlebrook Police Department that I know all had a great working relationship with them. And going forth, I think we're going to do even better as far as relationship between the Sheriff's Office and the Saddlebrook Police Department. The one good thing about Bergen County, we're ranked 9th in the nation as far as the safest county. That's not only by the doing of the Sheriff's Office, but the whole county, Bergen County law enforcement community. And I proudly share that with everybody. But that being said, Mayor, Council, anything I can do for you, please give me a call. I see the work you're doing, and though I'm not a Saddlebrook resident, I'm appreciative of the work you are doing, especially as a county official who have some sort of interaction with you on a regular or daily basis. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, motion. Yeah, you spoke. You spoke already.
Excuse me?
You spoke. You
Yes,
said
I
you're
know.
going to talk.
Through the attorney, Mrs. Attorney, through the chair, I already have that discussion that before with the main attorney, with the principal. Everybody already spoke. We allow, and I need an extra minute. And
I gave you 2 extra minutes.
No, the current resolution. Just excuse me. Legally, I got that resolution.
Okay, you
both.
could do it at your next, you
I'm
can talk
saying
next.
there is not, according to this, unless anyone else wants to speak up.
Omar.
I can come back for a minute. Excuse me, sir.
No, you excuse me. You told me last time, I'm the
Yes.
council president and I run this meeting. So have a
Okay.
seat and you can speak at the end of the meeting. We have to move on with the meeting.
I know that, but listen.
No, I don't have to listen. Just like your partner said, we don't take questions. I don't have to listen to you.
That's not the
You
law.
don't come up here and run the meeting.
This is not the law. This is not an ordinance. It's a resolution what you did. And it doesn't prohibit someone from speaking up a second time. Please, read, educate a little bit more.
You
Educate
said,
yourself.
okay, have a seat. You can speak
Am I
again.
going to be arrested like the last time that was going to be arrested?
Nobody said you're going to be arrested.
Yes, sir.
No, they didn't.
It's on September 5th. You
Okay.
can watch it on YouTube.
Clean your ears out. It didn't say about being arrested.
The mayor already apologized. Listen,
You weren't
am I
even
going
here
to
when
be
he
arrested for speaking
Have
on
a
my
seat.
mind?
Please have a seat.
Am I going to be arrested, sir?
Have a seat.
For
Could we,
speaking up?
could we
There's no
continue the
officer
meeting?
here.
Yes.
For speaking up? I was just asking through the chair to the Mr. Attorney. I just want a
Yes.
legal opinion. That's it.
I'm
I'm not saying nothing. I just want a legal opinion.
Mr. Rodriguez, unfortunately, I can't provide you with a legal opinion. My legal opinion, we represent the Township of Saddlebrook. If you do have questions about something, I can see if I can address them after the meeting. But you've had your 5 minutes to speak, and the House rules, as explained by the Council President right now, is 5 minutes. He actually granted everyone an extra 2 minutes for the purpose of this meeting. It's 3 minutes, and the Council President has said that's it, so thank
I'm
you.
going to sit down, but I will just suggest you, please read the resolution, and it doesn't have to say that.
Okay,
So everybody should read it, at least a resolution once a year. Thank you.
thank you.
Motion to close the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I have two proclamations that I want to read to start off. The first proclamation is October is Italian Heritage and Culture Month. So whereas the Township of Saddlebrook wishes to join Saddlebrook chapter of Unico National in celebrating October as Italian Heritage and Culture Month. Saddlebrook hosts an active local chapter of Unico National, the largest Italian-American service organization in the United States, who operate and live by the motto, service above self. Unico's mission is to promote and enhance the image of Italian Americans for their members to be of service to the community and literary projects to promote interests in public welfare and to cooperate with others in civic, social, and cultural development. So the Township of Saddlebrook celebrates the culture, traditions, and history of Italian Americans. So now therefore be it resolved that I, Robert D. White, the Mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, do hereby proclaim October as Italian Heritage and Culture Month in the Township of Saddlebrook. The next proclamation is in observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and is a platform for educating women about the importance of early detection. Through research, advocacy, and early detection, significant advances have been made in the fight against breast cancer. A variety of public and private organizations and agencies provide care, support, and services to anyone in any capacity is affected by breast cancer. Breast cancer survivors are a testament to resilience, to the promotion of awareness, and to following the recommended screening guidelines. So now therefore be it resolved that I, Robert D. White, the Mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, do hereby proclaim to recognize the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and encourage our residents to become educated and informed about programs and services that offer early detection and to also celebrate the survivors and memorialize those who have lost their battle. Thank you. I want to start my comments by just mentioning some of Omar's comments. He says that the building cost $32 million. I don't know why that he hasn't gotten the Oprah. I don't know, maybe our clerk can weigh in on that, but if it's been 8 months, it's too long, so that's unacceptable. But our numbers are more like 28 million, so that's a $4 million difference. Now, the BA is just a little bit more of Omar twisting the facts. He is right that the 1 year, last year, 2 years ago, we did pay $300,000 to a business administrator. We were in dire shape because we had some problems. We had our BA was sick and was in the hospital, and for almost a month, and we had a lot of things that were going on, and we needed somebody to fill in. So that person did fill in. We hired a consulting service on an emergency basis. So yes, that's true. $300,000 for 1 year. Jimmy Holmesy, our current business administrator, he makes $160,000. That's what he makes. Okay, so I don't know where, you're saying that he's getting paid more money than he is. He's not getting paid $300,000. He's getting paid $160,000. You may think that's too much. I don't know. But that's the truth of the matter is, yes, you're right about the 1 year. So, and we felt it was necessary. We were pretty much in an emergency situation, and we had to hire somebody. We had to hire somebody that was seasoned and good, and that could help us out, help us through a very difficult time. So, I want to talk a little bit about the budget. Tax bills went out for the fourth quarter. The tax rate is 2.306, so the municipal side increase is $242.28 on a residential property valued at $462,500. This is more than we wanted to raise taxes, but unfortunately, none of this is all the raise is non-discretionary. It's all funds that we have to, that we need. We need to run and operate the town. Most of it is salaries and wages. We have a police department to run, we have, a town hall to run, we have a DPW. And they all do a great job, but, we don't want to cut services. That's something we don't want to do. And one of the biggest reasons that, the taxes did go up is property values have increased. I was talking to the tax assessor, 20 to 25% in the last 4 years. The values of the properties have gone up, and you have to raise taxes if the values are going up, and our tax rate is pretty low. Inflation, everybody's suffering from inflation, so that's a big deal. It costs us more for the services. It costs us more for vendors that we hire. It seems like the larger increases were multifamily homes and income-producing homes, rental properties. They seem to go up a lot. And in a certain area of town, mostly the south end of town, they went up. But the values went up so much. And, look, the people that have homes that they have a tenant, they're going to pass that on to the tenant. It's unfortunate for the tenant. I feel bad for the tenant, but that's what usually happens. A homeowner, Omar, you own a two-family home. You have a renter, so, you may pass it on to that renter. I don't know what you're going to do, but, you seem to feel sorry for the residents and what they have to pay, and so maybe you'll take it easy on your tenant. And we're still 12th lowest in the county. That's where we stand, 12th lowest out of 70 municipalities. And next year, in 2025, we're anticipating additional revenues coming in. One of the biggest things is we're going to sell, and we're very close to a redevelopment plan. We're going to sell 73 and 93 Market Street. 93 Market Street sat there for, and Mr. Rodriguez, you were on the council back then, 2002. In 2006, we built the new police station. So you had 4 years to do something with that property. And really, it sat a long time. I had 10 years, but I'm embarrassed by it. We need to do something with that property. It's just sitting there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sell it, and we're gonna have it redeveloped. So that's something that that's gonna happen very soon. Within this year, we're gonna have an ordinance to sell that, and it's gonna go before the planning board. And also, Andrew D., I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but you mentioned the cannabis businesses. Those cannabis businesses are going to bring us in revenue, and they're going to open up. 2 of them are going to open up before the end of the year. So that's something that we all voted on here. We're going to get 2% of the sales, and it's going to be a lot of money. It's going to help the residents. That extra revenue is going to help residents. Many residents received water bills late due to a problem with the post office. So interest has been waived until October 21st, because some people got the bills late. Not everyone, a portion of the town. So let's go over the rodent update, rat update. Rodent sightings, rat sightings and activity appear to be lessening, okay? Still not nothing. We're still getting reports, but we're receiving less complaints. We're tracking the activity, which still seems to be confined to infiltration, okay? I'm not saying there could be a rat here and there, okay? That's going to happen. But the infiltration of rats seems to be in the north end of town, at a half-mile section, and there are pockets. There are people that are in that area that never see a rat, but there are nests, and we're working on it. And the town, what we've done is we baited Avon Park with there's 30 traps there, what they call bait traps. And they're the type of traps because we didn't want to put poison down. The kids play on that field. And also there's some concern for, other animals that eat the animals that eat the poison. So we put these special kind of traps at the recommendation of our exterminator, our pest control expert, and they're the type of trap where there's, the bait is regular food, and the rodent goes inside and gets trapped in there. And then once every 3 or 4 days, they get checked, and if there's any bodies in there, they're disposed of humanely. I don't know what that means, but that's what what I'm told. Now, we've been getting more mice, but we've been getting some rats too. So far, it's been about 2-3 weeks. We got 4 rats and about 10 mice, a couple of chipmunks too. So, the school district is working on and helping out with us because we got some complaints on Jamrose Terrace, so they're cleaning up the Smith Field along the fence that's adjacent to the backyards on Jamrose Terrace. And I don't know whether they're going to, they have their own exterminator. I don't know if they're going to put bait traps there, but there's a lot of overgrowth there. So they are working on that. They also put new garbage pails on the field that have lids on them. So because there was a complaint about that there was no lids on the garbage cans that are on the field. We're cracking down on property maintenance violators. That's been, they've been getting red stickered. We try to talk to them, try to get them to improve and clean up. We have a second reading tonight on an ordinance which requires residents to use garbage pails with lids. The ordinance will take effect November 13th if it passes. Violators right now are receiving notices in the mail from the health department because the ordinance they're not violating the ordinance, but we're letting them know that we have rat problem and that they need to cooperate and get a pail and stop putting out plastic bags at the curb. And more people than you think do it. It's a lot. So once the ordinance is passed, then at that point, we'll start putting red stickers on the doors, and they'll get warning notices, and if they don't comply, they'll get summonses. But residents have been taking the matter seriously and hiring professionals, and I feel pretty positive about it, that we're working together to eradicate the problem. Township Road Restoration Program. Right now in town, Bob, the engineer, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's 3 locations, Lincoln Ave, Sterling Place, and Sampson Street. The concrete work has been done on the first 2, Lincoln and Sterling, and Sampson, I think they started it this week. So then within the next couple of weeks, they'll be paving. Public service, gas and electric, they're replacing gas mains around town, and they're doing a lot of work in town, and so there's, you may get delays at times. Westminster Place, they've been there, working over there. In the area too, Boulevard, Adriana, South Street. Now they're on Wilson Street, Ash and Elm, and President and 3rd Street. They did some work, but they're going back to do more work over there. Events that took place over the last month. The shredding event was Saturday, September 28th. I want to thank Bergen County for sponsoring it, and also Joan Ramsey of the DPW, Perry Festa, and my secretary, Christine Genurario. The Unico Street Fair was Sunday, September 29th. The weather wasn't ideal, but it ended up that it was well-attended considering, and thank you to everyone that came out and participated. That's an annual event that we kind of joined together with Unico. It's a joint event that we do with them. Fire Prevention Week was October 6th to the 10th. I know that the fire department is out on their calendar drive. I know they were out this past weekend. I think they're going to be out again this weekend. So please be generous to our volunteer fire department during this calendar drive. Washington School's 100th anniversary was held on October 10th. The school district did a fantastic job. It was very well done. I can't believe how many people came out, former students, teachers, to celebrate that. And also, we had the dedication of Arturo Babe Liberty Field on Sunday, October 13th, this past Sunday. It was a wonderful event. I don't know, a lot of people in town knew Babe. He passed away at 93 back in June, but well-deserved honor. The field is named after him now. Nedlick Field is now Arturo Babe Liberty Field. Upcoming events, we got the Halloween decorating contest. We're ready. We got about 10, I believe, registrants. The last day to register is October 25th. Trunk or treat is Saturday, October 26th, but from 12 noon to 2 p.m. in the municipal complex parking lot. If there's inclement weather, we'll bring it inside in the gym. The senior Halloween party is October 29th. I don't think that's a Tuesday. I'm not sure, but it's October 29th at 6 p.m. at the Saddlebrook VFW, 44 Market Street. If you're interested, any seniors, call Senior Center to make a reservation to attend, 201-845-4594, 201-845-4594. And Election Day is November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th. Polls open at 6 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. And good luck to column 1. And good luck to column 2, too. Good luck to everybody that's on the ballot.
Councilman McGarrick?
Good evening, everyone. I just have a couple of things, not as much as Mayor White. The Flood Committee meeting, we're going to be meeting in October, on October 22nd. That's a Tuesday at 6:30 here at the Municipal Complex. Anyone interested in getting involved, you're more than welcome to come to the Flood Committee meeting. We do have a number of people coming, so please make every effort to be there. I just want to talk a little bit about the taxes. I received my tax bill like everybody else within the last 2 weeks. And being a middle school math teacher for 14 years, I broke down the tax bill. And I mentioned it at the work session 2 weeks ago. The school tax is 55.3% of your tax bill, okay? The municipal is 32.9%. The county is 9.9%. Your library is 1.5% of your tax bill. And then about 0.5% goes for open space. So schools are extremely important. Not going to say we want great schools, and we've got to fund great schools if we want a great community. We're dealing here with 32.9% of the money, okay? Obviously, of that 32.9%, roughly a third, most of it's salary and benefits. So there's not a lot that can be done with that. 3/4 of our budget. 3/4 of 1/3 is salary and benefits. Now, do we want armed security in the schools? We instituted that program. It's a great program. Is that something we cut? Do we cut fireworks? Do we cut newsletters? What do we cut? And how much is that going to save our taxpayers? Every little bit helps. So that's something that we have to consider. Taxes have gone up. My taxes in 2003 were about $3,600. Now they're $8,100. I bought my house for $292,000. Houses on my block are selling for $500,000-$600,000. So there's a lot of math to be done here. We have a wonderful community. It costs money to run the community. And when somebody says, oh, it's town hall, that means it's our residents. We're all town hall. So if we want to buy garbage pails for the residents because we have a vermin problem or a rat issue, who's going to pay for that? The residents are going to pay for it, whether they go to Home Depot and buy the pail or whether the town supplies it for them, because we would have to raise taxes to buy everybody garbage pails, okay? So it all comes from a pot of money. The Board of Ed contributes to that. The county contributes to that because we live in the county and we have a great park, okay? So there's things that we have to pay for if we want a good community. Now, I know when the house goes up for sale on Ash Avenue, in 2 days it's gone. I know when I talk to that neighbor that moves in and welcomes them to my block, they tell me one of the reasons I came here is because of the low taxes. So It may sound funny, but if you're coming from Queens or Brooklyn and you see what you're getting there for what it is, people want to come to New Jersey and they want to come to Bergen County. My dad was recently in the hospital at Memorial Sloan. Spoke to the nurse there. I just bought a house in Hillsdale. Thrilled. Loves Bergen County. Grew up in Rockland County. Great schools, safe communities. We have a wonderful town. We have a wonderful county. Okay? Unfortunately, it does cost a little bit of money. And for people that are on a fixed income, senior citizens, I was at the AARP meeting. They're able to freeze their taxes. And that's very important that the neighbors know you're 65 years old, your property taxes can be frozen. And we're trying to get that word out to people. Okay?
Can I just ask you a quick question on that? Isn't that dependent on your income if you're retired?
Yeah, I think the income is like 150,000. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I mean, if you're making over 160,000 in retirement, okay, okay. But in any regard, I just wanted to speak to the taxes a little bit. And some of the candidates we're running against. Well, one of the candidates we're running against was on the council for 8 years. And I remember candidly, when I got my tax bill, it's funny, everything went up. Now he can get elected and not raise taxes. That's a miracle. He should have done that for the 8 years he was on the council. Maybe it'd still be there. I don't know. But in any regard, taxes went up every one of those 8 years. I remember him being there. And there was total chaos. But that's a story for another day. But I appreciate you listening to me. Happy Halloween, safe Halloween. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mazur.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Florence Mazur. I am also a candidate for council. I've had the opportunity and the pleasure, actually, it has been, for the past 24 years to serve as your councilwoman. They call this the silly season. I find nothing funny about it when we have people coming up here and exaggerating and throwing innuendos around. I've been a resident of this town for over 40 years, and I've seen the progress, and I'm so very proud to be living here, raising my children, my grandchildren, and business here. And I only see a bright future for our township. And you know, I wish everyone luck on there, but let's remember what we're here for. And I also want to congratulate the Liberty family for the dedication of the Nedlick Field. He's a great man, babe, and well-deserved. And also everyone involved with the 100-year celebration of Washington School. My children went through that school, and a lot of great memories there, and did a great job, and look forward to many more years of fun at that location. But I hope to see everyone at the trunk or treat. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Sanchez?
Through the chair, I just wanted before,
Good.
I'm sorry, Sarah, I just want to thank the sheriff for coming tonight and doing that public service announcement. And I'm going to get in touch with him. Hopefully, we can have the sheriff's department come to our senior center. They have in the past come and done similar type of scam alerts and educational type seminars. So, but thank you, Sheriff, for coming tonight.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Okay, so just briefly, I believe in the past, we have sent somebody out to go look at Walmart and follow up with Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we can do that again, just to see if they can continue to address these issues, because clearly the issues haven't stopped. Now, I also just want to apologize for not being able to attend the last meeting, because I had personal matters to attend to. And I wasn't here to congratulate Chief Kugler on his retirement, so I just wanted to take a second to do that, congratulate him and wish him well in his retirement, and good luck to all the candidates in this upcoming election.
Councilman Simoon?
A couple of things that came across
Babe Liberty, great guy, great family. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend. I had my daughter's baby shower, so congratulations to her. But it's a well-deserved honor. If he seemed like a gruff guy, but he was a sweetheart. And once you got to know him and talk to him, it was a good experience. He was always at the fence for football games too. You know, he's a fixture in Saddlebrook, an icon. So it was great that we were able to, or that, you know, Little League was able to do that. Even though it's not in our town, the Elmwood Park is going to be dedicated to Vietnam veteran memorial. It's a statue of 3 soldiers. That's going to be this Saturday at 11 o'clock, corner of Van Riper and Mola Boulevard. So even though that's not a town, it's our neighboring community, and it is for, you know, it honors our veterans. And speaking of that, November 11th, we won't have a meeting until after that. We won't have a public meeting, televised public meeting. So November 11th at 11 a.m. At VFW Circle, there will be the annual VFW Veterans Day Memorial. So we ask that people come out to honor our vets. Now, I'm going to address some comments that were made by Column 1. They haven't been coming here for a year. Mr. Rodriguez has. He's been coming for decades. But I believe it was May when we first saw Column 1 candidates come here. Certainly not a year. It talked about the business administrator, and I'm going to repeat some of the things that the mayor and other council people have said. But again, it was an emergent situation. We did not pay a person $300,000. We paid a company $300,000, $75,000 a quarter, to help us with this emergent situation. The person that was doing our business administrator work also served for some time as the clerk. She ran an election during that period of time. So did we want that to happen? No. Thank God. The health has returned, and we have hired Mr. Holmesy, who is well qualified, and talking about Paramus, the information about the salary of Paramus. First of all, Paramus is not 10 times larger than us in terms of people, at least. But the salary is more than our current business administrator is making. So again, misinformation. I'll go over it again, even though it's said over and over again, this ridiculous notion that my health benefits are going to cost the taxpayers $1 million if, God forbid, my wife passes away, or we get divorced and I remarry somebody with young kids and those kids get benefits to 26. Come on. I mean, you're really stretching things. It's just ridiculous. There's a lot of ifs. You know, if the queen had balls, she'd be the king. So, you know, it's just anyone who listens to that and takes any kind of credence and thinks that that's a real thing is nuts. And if that's the case and you believe that, don't vote for me. The municipal complex, I mean, just look around. We are now the envy of many towns in this area. What people don't understand, or Column 1 doesn't seem to understand at least, is that we needed this place. We had concerts this summer outside. We've got a big parking lot. We had 10 parking spaces at our old municipal complex, 10. I mean, that's crazy for a municipal complex. If you ever went to court there, the entire community, the entire area around there was just inundated with cars parking every which way because they had 100 people going to court. They had 10 spaces. Our hook and ladder fire squad was there in a building that was moldy. They were cramped. They've got a new space. The ambulance corps, cramped, outdated. They've got a new space. We never had a recreation center. We now have a recreation center. Our fire official was in one building, the tax assessor in another building, the building department in another building, rec director in another building. They were all over. Now we're all in one place. So the one issue that they seem to hark on is that there was no referendum. Now, in our form of government, we don't need to have a referendum. And I'll point this out. The fire department, we have many of our members there. We're going to pass a bond ordinance for a new fire truck. But there are some people out there that don't think we need a new fire truck. They see fire trucks, they see them nice, and they keep them in nice shape. They're nice and shiny and red. Why do we need a fire truck? Well, they don't realize that the fire trucks expire. You know, they have a shelf life, 20 years or so. And we try and do a revolving purchase. We don't purchase one every year, but when we need to, we do. They have to be replenished. So if you go out to a referendum, what if 51% of the people, actually 50% plus one, says, nah, we don't need a fire truck. We don't get a fire truck. What if we're going to do a road program and people say, you know what? I went on Sheppes Ave. That seems okay. We don't need to pave that. I'm going to vote against it. If everything is put to a referendum, government wouldn't function. That's not our type of government. We are elected to make hard decisions. And that's part of it. And your response is, if you like what we're doing, you keep us here. If you don't, we'll be out. Next year, this time, somebody else will be sitting up here if you don't like what we're doing. I think we're doing a good job. Obviously, I'm biased, but the town is we've got road programs, we've got police. We're not doing what had been done, where police vehicles were replaced basically when they were riding on the rims. The equipment was outdated. People had guns that were older than them sometimes in the police department. That's not happening now. We're trying to do what we have to do to make this town run properly. And does it come at a cost? Yes. What Mr. Garrick had mentioned, I was, knocking on doors, doing campaigning, and somebody said, an older gentleman, and he said, are you going to lower my taxes? I said, I'm not going to lie to you. No. I don't know of a way to do that. We try and hold the line on it as much as humanly possible, but we don't. And then I said, I'm going to be 65. You're, no offense, you're older than I am. He was in his 80s. I said, you have a tax freeze. He goes, like that, just like that, I said, what does mean? He goes, I don't believe in that. You don't believe in tax freeze? Well, why not? And he had no answer for it. I said, you know that if you're 65, and the gentleman asked the question, if any one of your family, if the husband and wife and one of them is 65, once that person turns 65, even if the other one is not 65, you're eligible for this tax freeze. And what happens is you pay your taxes. If they go up, let's say they were 10,000, they go up to 10,500. You pay the 10,500, the state will reimburse you that $500. But you've got to apply. And a lot of people, surprisingly, I was at that same AARP meeting, and I said that to some of the members, and one guy who's, I thought was pretty astute, says, I didn't know. And he's 80 years old. For 15 years, he's been paying more than he should. And I believe the income level is $160,000 or $165,000 a year, combined income. So, in terms of, they mentioned about marijuana. The reason that the marijuana facilities, the cannabis facilities, are in one location is because that's the way we wanted it. We have a cannabis overlay district. We didn't want it all over the place. If you're going to have it in one district. Now, some people may know about the huge problem that they have in Rochelle Park because of their cannabis facilities. Anyone know about that? Well, you don't, because there is none. It's fear-mongering from people that are not knowledgeable about it. These places have security. They make it seem as if these are like, methadone clinics or a Grateful Dead concert or something, that people are just going to be stoned walking in, and driving out. That's just not what it's about. So, again, lack of knowledge leads to misinformation. In terms of the rats, and they said we haven't done anything, and this, well, apparently this gentleman said that in the 80s there was a rat problem. So I don't recall that, but he lives in a different area, and there's a creek there, and there's stores and facilities that have a lot of garbage generated over there. So I can easily see that there would be a rat issue over there. But the mayor laid it out at that rat hearing, 10 or 11 steps. Now, column 1 came in and said, this is my proposal, these are things, I'm going to fix this problem. Well, we already did 2 of the 3 things that he said. And then the third thing was to spread poison, which, believe it or not, is frowned upon around in Saddlebrook and throughout the state. We don't want to poison our kids. In terms of Walmart, Sylvia had come up and said something about speed bumps. Unfortunately, it's a private enterprise, so I don't think the town can require them at this point to install speed bumps. The gentleman had mentioned something about idling trucks. There is a statute, I think it's 39-453 or so off the top of my head, that says you can't idle, besides a local ordinance that says you can't idle. So again, the crap in the back, the idling trucks, that's enforcement issues. And, I personally apologize to the people who have to put up with that. You shouldn't do any, pardon me?
Why don't you enforce it? That's the
Well, it's an enforcement issue, and we have to get on the different entities that are required by part of their job. Well, sir, you can't just blurt out stuff. This is, well, I'm not in charge of grabbing these guys by the throat and telling them that they got to do their job, but they got to do their job.
I brought it up to you a year ago, so nothing's really changed, right?
Well, I don't know. It's an ongoing,
I'm just going to remind everybody that the
it's an
public comment
ongoing
portion is
problem.
over right now. Let the councilman give his report. Thank you.
It's an ongoing issue, and sometimes enforcement is more lax than we would like. So I agree, and somebody said, I feel your pain. But we're going to go at it again. The mayor's certainly aware of this. We all are aware of this, and you've brought it to our attention once again. So we've got to get to the powers that be in order to do enforcement. One is property maintenance, the other one is police. There's 2 different entities that are in charge of each of those type of things. They got to do their job. And if they don't do their job, there should be some accountability. That's the main thing on here. If there's no accountability, then why have laws? Why are we up here? These people who are hired to do certain things have to do those things and do it well. And the last thing, I got a call from someone about Columbus Day, and it says, hey, Saddlebrook, you're not celebrating Columbus Day, because on the Facebook it said Indigenous Peoples Day. It also had Columbus Day, so it is a federal, it's not known federally, Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. That the town did what they should have. If we can't ignore that it is a federal holiday and it's Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. I want to say there's one gentleman in the audience, and he comes here and he specializes in lighting and things like that and light pollution. And I appreciate him coming here because rather than just coming here and being angry constantly and just saying, you guys suck, basically. He comes up here and he has actual ideas, and he actually, has some proposals that we take into account. So I appreciate you, sir, for what you do. Again, thank you to the sheriff for coming here and spreading that PSA to us. And I think that's all I got for now. Thanks.
Through the chair,
I just want to, Mr. Mangini and Sylvia, after the meeting, it shouldn't be too much longer. If you want to stay, myself and our business administrator will talk to you. So,
I am certainly not going to be as long as anyone else, because I'm sure a lot of people want to go home. I do want to congratulate the Liberty family. That's such a great honor. If you didn't ever meet Babe, he was a quiet guy, but he was a very nice guy, so it's a good honor for that family. Trunk or treat is 26/12/2. I moved here 23 years ago, and I met Pastor Wolf. Pastor Wolf has been a wonderful guy, a great asset to the town, a great asset to the community, and he just got his, what I like to say, walking papers. He got transferred to another church, parish. So I just wanted to wish him and his family all the best, and just let Hawthorne know that they're getting a great man when they get Pastor Wolf. So good luck to Pastor Wolf. Like Councilman Garrick said, when I moved here, my taxes were $3,800 a year. 23 years later, they're $13,500. And I have no problem paying that, because you know why? Because if I go to Fairlawn, my house is over $18,000. If I go to Lodi, my house is over $20,000. And they don't offer the community that we offer. So I also knew what I was getting myself into when I bought here and put an addition on my house, so I could raise a family and enjoy my hopefully long life here in Saddlebrook. So the amount of taxes, my taxes went up over 23 years. In numbers, it sounds like a lot, but in reality, compared to other towns, and I know this is Saddlebrook, we live here, we shouldn't worry about other towns, but that's how they base your taxes. So I'm happy paying $13,500, knowing that I could get almost $900,000 for a house that I paid $250,000 for. So if that's a problem for anybody, maybe you should reconsider living in Saddlebrook, because the stock market won't make money like that. And on a good note, I just would like to thank the sheriff for coming here, taking time out to educate the residents of Saddlebrook, and I'd like to wish all the candidates all the best in this upcoming election. Thank you.
We have ordinances for final reading. Ordinance 1757-24, an ordinance authorizing a special emergency appropriation, NJSA 48:4-53, for the purpose of tax maps for a second reading.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing a special emergency appropriation, NJSA 48:4-53, for the purpose of tax maps. Now, public hearing.
motion to open to the public?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance is now open to the public for public comment, and this ordinance only. Anyone wishing to speak?
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing a special emergency appropriation, NJSA 48:4-53, for the purpose of tax maps, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next ordinance, ordinance 1758-24, a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems, equipment, and new automotive vehicles, and a new fire engine, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $2,545,300, pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for second reading.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Accomando.
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles, and a new fire engine, including original apparatus, equipment in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook, in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $2,545,300, pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to open to the public on this ordinance and this ordinance only.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to this ordinance and this ordinance only. Anyone wishing to speak?
Through the chair, I just wanted to see, I know it's a little out of the ordinary, but is the assistant chief here? Or does anyone in the fire department want to just advise, oh, the chief's here. Yeah, I didn't see it. To just talk about the equipment and what this bond, a lot of this bond is going for?
Sure.
My name is Dave Milnicki. I'm the fire chief of the Saddlebrook Fire Department. What we're getting from the mayor and council is a new engine that's replacing one of our oldest pieces right now. We're also getting a new chief's truck that the current vehicle that we're using now is on its very last legs. We are also getting, for the first time in a very long time, pagers. Right now, our members are very dependent on using their cell phones to get dispatched for calls. If some of you know that if you live in an area where you don't get such great cell service, you may not be going for that. You may not be aware that there's an emergency that we need to respond to. So that's another huge thing that we were able to get this year. The other thing that we're getting too is our GEM-TOR belts. Our GEM-TOR belts are basically the equivalent of a bulletproof vest for the police department. The GEM-TOR belts, in the event of an emergency while we're inside a building, if we have to bail out of the window, our bailout system is attached to that GEM-TOR belt, and that will save our lives if we have to bail out of a building. Also, when we're doing aerial operations, we can lock into the ladder with the GEM-TOR belt, preventing anybody from falling. So that's what the items that the fire department is receiving. And I'd like to thank the mayor and council for doing this for us. This mayor and council has always had our fire department's back. Anytime that we've needed anything, they've always done whatever they can to make sure that we have the best equipment available to do the jobs that we do. And for that, I thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Through the
Thank
chair.
you, Chief. I just wanted to thank you for your service and all your members, the ones that are here and the ones that are at home. Thank you for all you do for the town.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Through the chair. There was one item that's not in the capital that the fire department will be receiving this year. It's turnout gear through a grant. So some of the items, it had to be financed through the operating budget. Through a grant, $43,000 worth of turnout gear through a grant, and then a couple of other items. So some of these items were able to be purchased through state and county grants.
Thank you. Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, "A Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Making of Various Public Improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles and a new fire engine, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $2,545,300 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
All-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazur? Council President Accomando.
Yes.
Ordinance 1759-24, an ordinance to amend Chapter 100 entitled Garbage Collection of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook, State of New Jersey, for second reading.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 100 entitled Garbage Collection of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook, State of New Jersey.
Motion open to the public. On the-
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public on this ordinance and this ordinance only. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none. Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 100 entitled Garbage Collection of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook, State of New Jersey, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Through the chair, I just wanted to say one thing, and that's one of the things that the council and the mayor have done, is to introduce this ordinance. We do believe that this will assist in helping the situation involving the rat issue in town. It's one of many things that we are implementing, but it's a first step.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so request it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, approval of minutes, and applications.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
New business, old business? Anyone? Mayor?
I think I'm good, thanks.
Council, you have anything?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning Pastor Wolf.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, good man.
Very good.
Losing a very good person.
Dave?
Council?
I just want to mention the Liberty family. I was there by the Little League Field. Well-deserved honor. Congratulations to the Liberty family. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to mention the two grants we received. One for a little over $138,000 for the improvement of some of our parks, and also another one we received from our county exec, also and our commissioners there, $1 million for the dredging of the pond at Otto Pelly Park. Hopefully, it's the beginning of some help of the flooding there. I'd like to thank them for it.
Councilwoman? Councilman?
Yeah, it's not only dredging, but I believe that they're going to put in another aerator in there. Currently, we have one. There might be one that's kind of buried, but and hasn't worked for years. But they're going to do that, and they're also, at least they've told us, they're committed to working with different divisions within the park to desnag and get rid of a lot of the dead trees there, and potentially open up some of the areas, so this way you can see the lake. Right now, as you walk around or ride your bike, you can see it at the north end and south end, but the rest is all covered with foliage. Some people say that that's the way they want it, to avoid people going into the lake. I personally think that the lake is a beautiful thing and should be seen, and I'm hoping that we can get a lot of that, or some of, at least some of that. I don't want to be too greedy. Some of that foliage taken out, so this way we can see what we have there. Thank you.
Bob? Anything? Nothing? James? I would like to open the meeting for agenda items only.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak?
Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, Saddlebrook. I believe that it becomes an agenda only when actually my name has been left on right. The new garbage cans should be paid out of the water account. They got $600,000. Why the taxpayers have to be increased taxes again, paying $120,000, $140,000? I mean, $120, $140 per can, and it's just at 26 inches. But anyway, that's a wrong call. That's desperation. There is other solutions. That is not going to resolve that rat issue. And a lot of tax today, but then again, it's election season. And I guess it's time for change on November 5th. All those that are happy, just continue the government. But if it's time for change, column 1. And I can prove a lot of things, but I believe that, like the BA, 1 year, the mayor hasn't said that I've been battling right here for more than 10 months to get rid of the highest paid business administrator in the state of New Jersey. And that person was let go from Edison. That same company that the mayor's mentioning was hired in Edison within 20 days. They found a replacement for the business administrator. And by the way, the business administrator was here. So in 20 days, and it took 1 year right here, or they were just covering or doing a favor.
Do you have a comment
At the
with
expense of
agenda?
the
Do you have a
taxpayers.
comment for agenda items?
Am I going to be arrested again?
No,
So,
stop
please.
being ridiculous. You're like a
Okay,
child.
yes.
You're like a
So
child.
listen, you're gonna try to dictate me? This is
I'm not
Saddlebrook,
dictating you.
United
I asked
States
you
of
if you have
America.
something for the
Again,
agenda items
do
only.
you have a
But you're
problem?
acting like a child.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder if you got some education.
Sure.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
You just went
You
6
have
months
kids?
to high school.
Do you have kids? You know how
But
kids
anyway,
act?
anyway.
Mr.
I didn't think so.
So then again,
please.
let me just speak up. All right, and by the way, so you can educate yourself.
Okay.
The resolution, can you please pass it on, what I just said before?
I'm good. You
It
could
doesn't
give it
say
back.
how many minutes, so you can educate it, that the attorney can also look at it and educate themselves. So it doesn't say nothing in the resolution, and it's not an ordinance. An ordinance, that's the law. That's just a resolution. Please read it again and again until you understand.
No, I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr.
So then again,
Mr.
to finish,
Rodriguez.
600 units were going to be built by Councilman Simaluka and some others in this council.
Mr.
And
Rodriguez.
Veterans
Mr. Rodriguez.
Park-
Mr.
Could you shut his mic
Rodriguez.
And Veterans Park, and we denied.
Omar.
And we built a park.
Where's-
And I'm gonna close with that. A lot of lies has been said tonight, and I have the freedom of speech to speak up. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night,
too.
and hopefully
Thank
it's
you.
time for change
Yes.
on November 5th. Voting column 1.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You too. Yeah. Motion to close on the agenda items.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
I got one thing
Second.
to say.
Wait.
I got one thing to say. It's time for a change. That means vote column 2, so we don't get a retread like this coming in every single month. Thank you.
You know, why it's open, I gotta say something. He sat up there and said how we could help the fire department if we weren't paying $300,000 for a BA. That's the same man, councilman, council president, when he was a councilman, who neglected to do anything for the fire department and tabled everything they wanted until it cost a significant amount and then approved it. So if he anybody cost the taxpayers money, it was Omar Rodriguez, not this council. So he should just speak before he talks too. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.